Welcome to Historic Coins Vault, where every coin tells a story and every discovery could be worth a fortune. Today, we're diving into the rarest US coins, some so valuable, collectors would pay a small fortune just to hold them. Stay with us, because what you're about to see might surprise even the most seasoned treasure hunters. Top 5. We're going to explore one of the most fascinating coins from the American State Quarter series, the 2000 Virginia State Quarter. This coin is not only beautiful in design, but certain rare versions of it have become extremely exciting for collectors to search for. The coin we're discussing is the Virginia State Quarter, 2000. It was released as part of the famous 50 State Quarters program created by the United States Mint. When this program began in 1999, it quickly turned into one of the most popular coin collecting events in American history. Millions of people across the United States started checking their pocket change and building collections as each new state design appeared. When Virginia's quarter was introduced in the year 2000, the design honored an important moment in American history. The reverse side of the coin features 3 sailing ships representing the historic expedition that brought English settlers to the shores of Virginia in 1607. These ships were the Susan Constant, Godspeed, and Discovery. These ships carried settlers who would establish the first permanent English settlement in America at Jamestown. This historic settlement played a major role in shaping the early history of the nation. The design on the coin captures the ships sailing together across the water, symbolizing courage, exploration, and the beginning of a new chapter in history. On the front of the coin, collectors see the familiar portrait of George Washington. His image has appeared on the quarter for decades and remains one of the most recognized designs in American coinage. At first glance, the Virginia quarter may seem very common. After all, millions of these coins were minted in Philadelphia and Denver and released into everyday circulation. They were used in daily purchases, passed between people, and spent in stores all over the country. Because of this heavy circulation, many of these coins became worn, scratched, or faded over time. But here is where things start to get exciting for collectors. Among the millions of coins produced, a small number were struck with unusual minting errors. These errors are what makes certain coins stand out and become valuable collectibles. One of the most interesting possibilities is a double die error. This happens when the coin's design is accidentally impressed more than once during the die creation process. As a result, some letters or design elements may appear doubled when viewed closely. Another rare feature collectors watch for is an off-center strike. If the metal blank used to make the coin is not perfectly aligned in the minting press, the design may appear shifted toward one side. This creates a dramatic look and makes the coin very appealing to error collectors. There are also die cracks and other unusual marks that can appear when minting equipment begins to wear down. These tiny lines or raised areas on the coin might look like simple flaws, but experienced collectors know they can indicate a rare mint variety. Condition also plays an extremely important role in determining the value of a coin. Most Virginia quarters were used for many years in circulation, which means they show signs of heavy use. However, some coins were saved early and remained in nearly perfect condition. A coin with crisp details on the ships, clear lettering, and bright surfaces can receive a high grade from professional grading companies. High-grade coins are especially attractive to collectors because they represent the finest examples of the design. Imagine searching through a jar of old coins and discovering a Virginia quarter that looks unusually sharp or has an unusual minting detail. That moment of discovery is one of the greatest thrills in coin collecting. A coin that once seemed ordinary could turn out to be a rare and valuable piece of history. This is why collectors always pay attention to their change. Every coin has a story, and sometimes that story includes a rare error or exceptional condition that makes it truly special. So the next time you receive a quarter in change, take a closer look before spending it. Examine the ships, check the lettering, and watch for unusual details that might reveal a rare variety. Top 4. We're going to explore a fascinating coin from one of the most famous coin programs ever created in the United States. This is the 2005 California State Quarter, a coin admired for its beautiful design and the rare minting variations that make certain examples extremely exciting for collectors. The coin we are talking about is the California State Quarter, 2005. It was released as part of the historic 50 State Quarters program created by the United States Mint. When this program began in 1999, it quickly became a nationwide sensation. Millions of people across the United States started collecting the new quarters as each state received its own special design. When California's turn arrived in 2005, the design chosen for the coin celebrated one of the most important figures in American environmental history. The reverse side of the quarter features the famous naturalist John Muir standing in the majestic wilderness of Yosemite Valley. In the background you can see the massive granite cliffs and breathtaking scenery that make Yosemite one of the most famous national parks in the world. Above the landscape soars the powerful California condor, a rare bird that symbolizes wildlife conservation and the beauty of nature. This design perfectly captures California's connection to nature and exploration. The message of the coin reflects John Muir's lifelong effort to protect America's natural landscapes and inspire people to appreciate the beauty of the wilderness. On the front side of the quarter, collectors see the well-known portrait of George Washington. His image has appeared on the quarter for generations and links the modern state quarter series to the long tradition of American coinage. At first glance, the California quarter might seem like a very common coin. Millions of them were produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints and released into circulation. They were used in daily purchases, passed from person to person, and spent in stores across the country. Because of this heavy circulation, most of these coins eventually became worn or scratched, but hidden among those millions of coins are a few special examples that collectors are always hoping to find. During the minting process, small mistakes sometimes occur. These minting errors can transform an ordinary coin into something rare and highly collectible. One of the most exciting possibilities collectors look for is a double die error. This happens when the design used to create the coin's die is accidentally impressed more than once. The result can cause letters or design elements to appear doubled when examined closely. Another rare feature collectors search for is an off-center strike. If the blank coin is not perfectly aligned during the minting process, the design may appear shifted to one side. These coins immediately stand out because the image looks slightly misplaced, making them very attractive to collectors who specialize in mint errors. There are also die cracks, unusual surface textures, and other small details that can appear when minting equipment begins to wear down. These tiny marks might look like imperfections to most people, but experienced collectors recognize them as clues that the coin may be a rare variety. Condition also plays an incredibly important role in determining a coin's value. Most California quarters spent years circulating in everyday commerce, which means they show signs of wear and handling. However, some coins were saved early by collectors and remain in nearly perfect mint state condition. A high-quality coin will have sharp details in the mountains, clear lines in the image of John Muir, and a bright surface with minimal marks. Coins that meet these strict standards can receive very high grades from professional grading services. These top-graded coins are extremely desirable among collectors because they represent the finest examples available. Imagine searching through a jar of old coins or a roll of quarters from the bank and discovering a California quarter that looks unusually sharp or has a strange minting error. That moment of discovery is one of the greatest thrills in coin collecting. A simple coin that once seemed ordinary could suddenly become a prized collectible. This is why experienced collectors always examine their coins carefully. The smallest detail can make the biggest difference. A tiny variation, an unusual strike, or a perfectly preserved surface can turn an everyday coin into a remarkable find. So the next time you receive a California quarter from 2005, take a closer look before spending it. Study the design, examine the lettering, and check for unusual marks or doubling. You never know when a rare coin might be hiding in plain sight. Top 3. We're going to explore one of the most fascinating coins from the American State Quarter series, a coin that celebrates innovation, history, and discovery. This is the 2001 North Carolina State Quarter, a piece of American coinage that has captured the attention of collectors across the country. The coin we're discussing today is the North Carolina State Quarter, 2001. It was released as part of the famous 50 State Quarters program created by the United States Mint. When this program began in 1999, it quickly became one of the most popular coin collecting movements in modern history. Millions of people across the United States began saving the quarters as each state was honored with its own unique design. When North Carolina's quarter was introduced in 2001, the design celebrated one of the most important achievements in human history. The reverse side of the coin features the famous early airplane known as the Wright Flyer soaring above the dunes of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. This image honors the groundbreaking moment when aviation pioneers Wilbur Wright and Orville Wright achieved the world's first successful powered flight. That historic moment, known as the first powered flight, 1903, changed the future of transportation and technology forever. The design of the coin captures the excitement of that moment, showing the aircraft lifting off while observers watch from the ground. It's a powerful tribute to innovation and human determination. On the front of the quarter, collectors will recognize the familiar portrait of George Washington. His image has appeared on American quarters for decades and remains one of the most recognizable designs in United States coinage. At first glance, the North Carolina quarter might seem very common. After all, millions of these coins were produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints and released into circulation. They were used in daily transactions, passed through countless hands, and spent in stores all across the country. Because of this constant use, most of these coins became worn or scratched over time, but here is where things begin to get exciting for collectors. Among the millions of coins that were produced, a small number were struck with unusual minting errors. These errors are what makes certain coins stand out and become valuable collectibles. One of the most interesting possibilities collectors look for is a double die error. This occurs when the design used to create the coin's die is accidentally impressed more than once, causing letters or design elements to appear doubled when examined closely. Another rare feature that collectors watch for is an off-center strike. If the blank coin is not perfectly aligned inside the minting press, the design may appear shifted toward one side of the coin. These types of errors are easy to notice and are highly attractive to collectors who specialize in unusual mint mistakes. There can also be die cracks or other small features caused by the gradual wear of minting equipment. While these may appear to be simple imperfections, experienced collectors recognize them as unique characteristics that can make a coin far more interesting. Condition is another major factor that determines how valuable a coin can become. Most North Carolina quarters spent years circulating through the economy, which means they show signs of heavy use. However, some coins were saved early by collectors and remain in nearly perfect condition. Coins with sharp details on the right flyer, clear lettering, and bright surfaces can receive very high grades from professional grading companies. These top-graded coins are extremely desirable because they represent the finest preserved examples of the design. Imagine sorting through a jar of spare change and suddenly spotting a North Carolina quarter that looks unusually bright or contains a strange minting detail. That moment of discovery is what makes coin collecting such an exciting hobby. A coin that once seemed ordinary could turn out to be a rare and valuable treasure. Collectors continue to examine their pocket change every day, hoping to find rare varieties or mint errors that others might overlook. The North Carolina quarter remains one of the coins that enthusiasts carefully inspect because of its historical design and the possibility of rare variations. So the next time you receive a quarter in change, take a closer look before spending it. Study the airplane, check the lettering, and watch for unusual marks or doubling. You might be holding something much more special than you realize. Top 2. We're diving into one of the most fascinating coins from the United States State Quarter series. This is the 2005 Oregon State Quarter, a coin that stands out for its stunning design and the rare variations that can make it extremely desirable to collectors. The coin we're exploring is the Oregon State Quarter, 2005. It was released as part of the famous 50 State Quarters program created by the United States Mint. This program began in 1999 and quickly became one of the most exciting coin collecting initiatives in modern history. Millions of Americans started saving quarters as each new state design entered circulation, transforming ordinary coins into collectible treasures. Oregon's quarter, released in 2005, is particularly captivating because of its reverse design. It features the iconic state landmark, Crater Lake, a deep and stunning lake formed in the caldera of an ancient volcano. In the foreground, a majestic eagle soars over the water, capturing the wild and natural beauty that Oregon is known for. This design not only celebrates the state's remarkable landscapes but also reflects its commitment to preserving wildlife and nature. On the front of the coin, collectors will see the familiar portrait of George Washington. His image has appeared on the quarter for decades and serves as a timeless connection to the long tradition of American coinage. At first glance, the Oregon quarter might appear ordinary. Millions were minted at the Philadelphia and Denver mints and quickly entered circulation. These coins were used for daily purchases, passed from hand to hand, and spent in stores all over the country. Because of this, most examples show signs of wear, including scratches, dull surfaces, and faded details, but here's where it gets exciting for collectors. Among the millions of coins produced, there are a few rare examples that feature unusual minting errors or have survived in exceptional condition. These coins can transform a simple quarter into a highly prized collectible. One of the most sought-after varieties is the double die error. This occurs when the coin's design is accidentally struck twice during the creation of the die. The result is letters or design details that appear doubled under close inspection. Collectors love these coins because they are unique and immediately identifiable. Another fascinating error is an off-center strike. If the blank coin is misaligned during minting, the design may appear shifted toward one side, creating a dramatic and eye-catching appearance. These errors are instantly recognizable and highly valued by collectors who specialize in unusual minting mistakes. There are also die cracks, cut errors, and other irregularities caused by worn or damaged minting equipment. While these may seem like flaws to the casual observer, coin enthusiasts recognize them as signs of rarity that can significantly increase a coin's value. Condition is also a key factor. Most Oregon quarters spent years in circulation, which means that most show signs of wear. However, some coins were preserved early and remain in near-perfect mint state condition. Coins that have sharp details on the eagle, clear lines in the lake and cliffs, and bright, unmarked surfaces are extremely desirable. High-grade coins can receive top scores from professional grading companies, making them especially prized by collectors. Imagine the thrill of sorting through a jar of spare change and spotting an Oregon quarter that looks unusually sharp or has a strange minting error. That moment of discovery is exactly what makes coin collecting so exciting. A coin that once seemed ordinary can suddenly become a rare and valuable treasure. Collectors around the world continue to examine their pocket change carefully, looking for rare varieties, mint errors, or exceptionally preserved coins. The 2005 Oregon quarter remains a favorite among enthusiasts because of its beautiful design and the potential for unusual errors that can make it stand out. So the next time you come across a 2005 Oregon quarter, take a moment to examine it closely. Study the details of the soaring eagle, the lake, and the cliffs. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, or any unusual marks that might indicate a rare minting variety. That simple quarter in your hand could be far more special than you realize. Top 1. We're diving into one of the most captivating coins from the United States State Quarter Series, the 2007 Utah State Quarter. This coin is more than just currency, it's a piece of art, a symbol of history, and for some rare examples, a treasure that collectors dream of finding. The coin we're talking about is the Utah State Quarter, 2007. It was released as part of the famous 50 State Quarters program produced by the United States Mint. This program, which started in 1999, turned coin collecting into a nationwide sensation. Millions of people began examining their pocket change, hunting for new state designs, and building collections that celebrated American history and culture. Utah's quarter, released in 2007, stands out for its unique and meaningful design. The reverse side features a majestic beehive at the center, a symbol deeply connected to the state's history and nickname, the Beehive State. Surrounding the beehive are sago lilies, Utah's state flower, symbolizing peace and resilience. The combination of these symbols tells a story about Utah's pioneers, their hard work, and their dedication to community. In addition, the reverse design incorporates mountains in the background, representing the breathtaking landscapes of the Utah wilderness. This imagery perfectly captures the spirit of the state, a place of natural beauty, strength, and perseverance. On the front side of the quarter, collectors see the familiar portrait of George Washington, a design that has been used on the quarter for decades. This classic image ties the modern state quarters back to a long-standing tradition of American coinage, connecting history with the contemporary designs of each state. At first glance, the Utah quarter might seem like an ordinary coin. Millions of these coins were produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints and released into circulation. They were used in stores, vending machines, and countless daily transactions. As a result, most examples show wear, scratches, or dull surfaces from years of handling. But here's what makes this coin exciting for collectors. among the millions minted, there are rare examples that feature unusual minting errors or have survived in pristine condition. These coins are highly sought after and can become extremely valuable. One of the most fascinating errors collectors search for is a double die. This occurs when the coin's design is accidentally impressed twice during the die-making process. The result can make letters or design elements appear doubled when viewed closely under magnification. Coins with this error are instantly noticeable to collectors and highly prized. Another error that adds value is the off-center strike. If the coin blank is misaligned in the press during minting, part of the design appears shifted, creating a visually striking look. These coins are rare and immediately attract attention from enthusiasts of minting errors. Additionally, die cracks, cut errors, and other unusual surface details can occur due to worn or damaged minting equipment. While these may appear as imperfections to the casual observer, collectors recognize them as evidence of rarity that can significantly increase a coin's value. Condition is also a major factor in determining a coin's worth. Most Utah quarters were circulated for years, which means they have marks and wear from everyday use. However, some coins were saved early and remain in nearly perfect mint state condition. Coins with sharp details in the beehive, clear edges on the sago lilies, and bright, reflective surfaces are highly prized. Professional grading companies assign top grades to these coins, making them extremely desirable for collectors seeking the finest examples. Imagine the thrill of sifting through a jar of coins and discovering a 2007 Utah quarter that looks unusually sharp, or even better, has a rare minting error. That moment of discovery is exactly what makes coin collecting so addictive. A coin that once seemed ordinary can suddenly become a prized collectible worth far more than anyone imagined. Collectors continue to study every coin carefully, always looking for rare varieties, mint errors, or high-grade examples that stand out. The 2007 Utah quarter remains a favorite because of its meaningful design and the potential for rare, valuable examples that can excite even seasoned collectors. So the next time you come across a Utah quarter from 2007, don't rush to spend it. Examine the beehive, the sago lilies, and the mountains. Look for unusual doubling, off-center strikes, or other distinctive marks that might indicate a rare minting variety. That small coin in your hand could be far more special than you realize, and now comes the moment every coin collector waits for. While most 2007 Utah quarters are worth only their face value, a rare error coin or a perfectly preserved high-grade example discovered by the right collector has been known to reach an incredible value of $90,000.